This super chat reminds me, I think the last time you were on, we did talk about Crowder. This is from K-Max. To this day, Chrissy's top viewed video by far is Owen Benjamin talking about Steven Crowder. Not sure why so popular, but it received over 100,000 views. What happened with Crowder again? And I think like since I've had you on, like there was a lot of drama with Crowder. Like
Yeah,
I think he lost his show, lost
everything I
his
said was revealed to be true. Yeah.
lost the show at the Blaze, got into drama with Daily Wire, I think, and then his wife released these weird ring videos of him yelling at her. Like that was a lot of drama.
Yeah, and I
Um,
was explaining that to people, and they're like, "Oh, you're just jealous. You're just a hater." And now all of it's revealed, And I knew a lot more than I was even saying. Like, I knew what was going on with him and his wife. I knew that he records phone calls privately. It's like, and I know that he's a gatekeeper, and I know that he is what he is. And that's the cool thing is now that it's kind of out there, I don't care anymore. Not that I really did, but it's like it was more of an intriguing story before it was obvious. And now that you can see what he is, that he privately records conversations and uses it as leverage. Him and his wife were literally divorced for like a couple years as he's like this big Christian, family grifty guy. And it was driving me and a couple of the guys that used to work for him a little batty because it's like so many people are treating him in a way that he's nothing like in reality. And so I talked about it, and then it all got revealed. And now I'm like, okay, if you like him, great. But now the truth is obvious. It's kind of like now with the vaccines. It's like, well, now that it's being more presented as what it really is, it's your choice. Go for it or not. I just like revealing, letting people have a bigger spectrum of what they should or should not choose. But I don't, it's your choice if you like somebody. I don't actually hate anybody. Like, I don't actually am like, don't listen to him. I'm just like, just know what he is. Just know how much he lies,
yeah, and I'm sure, yeah, you would never say don't watch his show or be a
Yeah,
fan
never. Not
or
at all.
subscribe to Mug Club because everyone, is entitled to have their fan base and
Exactly.
make people if he yeah, I mean, he's still funny. He
Like, if
probably
you're gay, listen to him. Like, he's your guy. Like, if you're super gay,
Do you
and
think
like,
he's gay?
I think he's, yeah. I mean, listen, I don't know what his sexual activities are, but there's nothing like he can't wait to get in a dress. Like, no matter what happens, like, no matter what the news event is, and you could it's all in plain sight. Everything I talk about is right in plain sight. Like, it could be anything. Like, oh, the submarine just lost air. He'd be like, okay, I'll be in a dress with a ball gag and let's do a sketch. And you're like, the fuck does that have to do with submarines? He's like, dude, we got to own the laugh. The only way to own the laugh is if I get in a thong, I put a dildo on my head, and we really just go for this thing. And I'm like, okay, dude. And it's just like that whole steroidy culture. It's just very, very gay to me. And that's all right. I don't know if he like fucks guys, but like it feels that way. I've never witnessed that, but he's always trying to get you to smoke cigars. Those guys are always like, lick it, clip it. Let me see you puff on it.
My husband likes cigars. Hey.
Yeah, but yeah. It's one thing to like cigars. It's
Yeah.
another thing where you're always trying to get other guys and the ritual.
Cigar culture is gay to you?
Not necessarily. How do I explain it?
The over licking of a cigar, I think, is a little much.
Yeah, and if you're like immediately like you have a new guy in your life, like you just have some new guy who's your friend, and you're like, okay, let's get some cigars going. And you're like, yeah, cigars. And then they make sure you do the ritual. They're like, no, clip it, like circumcise it. And you're like, oh, okay.
Well, you have to. You have to like.
Yeah, I know, but there's a gaze.
The
there's like a look where they're like really looking at you, and they're like, no, like you got to like lick on it a little bit. And they're like, you see how fat and thick that thing is?
I think let the man lick his own cigar. I think if you're slobbing on it and then you give it to that's a little too much.
There's just like there's an energy. Like some people are just into cigars. I get it. Like, puffing on a cigar.
They are relaxing.
Yeah, but then there's another energy where it's like, let me see you puff on it. Like they'll look at you in the eye while you do it.
Phallic. I want you putting the shaped object in your mouth.
Yeah, they're like, okay, especially if you sell something called Ranger panties. So this is a true experience that happened with me and Steven Crowder. He sells short shorts for men. They're like 5 inches long. And he's like, yeah, we'll get you a pair. And I'm like, oh, cool. He's like, no, we'll get you in a pair now. Let's just hop in the hot tub. And I'm like, yeah, man, I'll hop in the hot tub. I got shorts. He's like, no, let's get you in a pair of Ranger panties. And I'm like, okay. And then he's like, let's get a cigar in your mouth. And you're like, are you gay? Yeah, there's something very, and then every sketch is like, why don't it be super funny is if we get you in a bedazzled cape. And you're like, and I'll be in chaps and we'll make fun of trans people. And you're like, are you trans? It's like, no, we're owning. This is how we mock them. So anyway, we'll get you in the shortest shorts you've ever seen, puffing on a cigar in a hot tub, and I'm going to be staring into your eyes. And you're like, that's
you do have
gay.
Nice eyes, Owen. I mean, can you blame them?
I know. I used to say that to myself. I'm like, listen, I have nice eyes. This is not gay. They're just gazing into my eyes. But then when you start factoring in the shorts, the puffing, the bedazzled capes, not having any interest in your family, like, it's like, what, are you too busy with the boys at the gym?
Mm-hmm.
And it's one thing if you're 30, 25, you're like in the military, you just can't, you love crushing with the boys, you're working out, puffing on cigars, shooting, throwing lead, 9/11, yeah, But if
you think for Crowder, his sketches were an excuse for him to kind of like live out his truth and like
100%, in my opinion, yes, because it's one thing if it's
normally express.
If it's once or twice, that's one thing. But if you're like, okay, there's a trans rally, I'm gonna go in a thong and we'll make fun of them, and you're like, but
some of my friends do that though. Like I had two of my guy friends on it. They did a Gino's show in Hot Waters. Gino, my friend Jim Stansel, and they both like sucked on a dildo that was stuck to the desk. And I'm like, all right, they are trying to make people laugh, but it is a little.
It's gay. Yeah, no, and that's cool. I mean, it is what it is. I'm just not going to pretend that's it. That's gay. Like if you're sucking on a dildo and you're like, dude, how funny is this? I'm just like
you're still doing it. Yeah,
you're still like you're jerking off. It's like, well, I can't. It's not funny unless I come. And you're like,
oh my god,
dude.
But don't you think there is something to be said for someone who's like, I will do anything for a laugh. Like you don't necessarily.
Yes. I used to be a heckler at a Renaissance festival. People used to throw tomatoes at my face. Like I was a cast member of the show Punked. Like I'm down for like being, you're down to get that laugh. It's way different if every scenario you're just thinking about how you can wear a dress or like how you can suck a dildo.
Yeah.
You're like,
could I play Liberace? Could I be Prince? Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, okay, we're gonna make fun of trans people. So do you have to be in assless chaps? And like as a comedic writer, it's like, yeah, if it's totally organic, like this is the only way, like this is it. Or you do it once. Like let's say you do one time, it just organically happens that this is the thing. Like you're doing a play and it's Shakespearean and you're dressed as a woman. Yeah. But it's like you're constantly, like another sketch we did, me and Crowder dressed up in these white leotards to like go into this teacher's classroom who was talking shit about Crowder online. And again, it was like, you could totally see my ween in the outfit. It was like, and he commented on it. He's like, man, you can totally see how big your dick is in that outfit. I'm like,
oh, how big, not how small. That's a compliment.
Exactly. No, I know. That's what they try and do. They're like, I'm complimenting you. And I'm like, am I pretty now? No. See, I'm a pretty naive guy. Gay stuff is
funny.
Gay stuff is funny? So I think gay stuff was way funnier in like 2014. Before it was like everybody's gay now. Like now I don't find it as funny. Like back in the day, like when my buddy Nick Swartz, and he's fucking hilarious, was the roller skating prostitute on Reno 911. That's one of the funniest characters ever. Just this, it's like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm Terry. Like that whole character was great. Like Terry Air, like his airplane. Sorry for being late. I was rear-ended at the corner of Full Blown and AIDS. Like that shit's great. But like in 2023, when you have like trans people on Bud Light, it not only isn't funny, it's like tedious. Where you're like, oh no way, more gay shit,
true.
And so I think it's actually funnier to make fun of gays now. Like now, I do this whole thing called Pay Your Gay Away, where I'm entropystream.live/app/Owen Benjamin Comedy, where someone can send me money almost like I'm a priest if they do anything gay, and then I absolve them of their gayness, where it's like, if you are a woman and you wear flannel, you drive a Subaru, you pay that gay away. And it's a funny theme. And it's really, really well received.
Like if
Because
I did carry a ladder by myself out of Home Depot, I could send you $10 and be like,
exactly, then you
"Let
can
me
pay
get
your
this
gay
les
away.
out." Yeah.
Exactly. Get that les out. It's the same with guys. It's
Likeness.
like, listen, I was watching Rent and I'd fallen asleep. I woke up, Rent was on the TV. I don't want rollerblades to grow on my feet, so here's $20. And that's cutting edge comedy, because nowadays making fun of gay people is the move, because there's such a demand for it and everyone's scared to do it. So
That is
now
true.
I'm doing it. I'm just crushing it. Like making fun of flamboyant men, these weak ass, because it's not even about like sodomy. It's about like men that are like, only the best for me. Mommy says so. Like gay. It's just like,
The autogynephiliacs, I feel like, are the ones that deserve to be made fun of now. Like, it's not
what's a
even just
gynephiliac?
regular gays are boring. It's these guys that like have this fetish that they like to dress up as women, but they identify as trans so they can get into women's bathrooms. But really, it's just like they have no plans of transitioning. They just like to wear dresses and present as women as like as a sexual fetish.
But that's inevitable. Like once you're puffing on cigars and Ranger panties, you're going to get a guy with a dick in a locker room.
It's
I didn't make the math. I didn't create logic. I'm just reporting.